Hey guys, hello, hello, hello. Topic today, the fat fast, fat fasting, right? So I'm just allowing a few seconds here, 15 seconds to allow people to jump on. And when you're here and when you jump on and you guys, when you jump on, do me a favor. If you're here, let me know that you're here. I see you, Bev. And Eric's there. Good, all good. You guys can hear me okay. Valentina is there. So you guys got to know that it's always easier for me to do a live video when you have your community watching, involved, and participating, right? Topic today is fat fasting. What is a fat fast? How do you do a fat fast? And hello, Vale. And what's up? What's this latest trend, this crazy trend going on right now called the fat fast? Hey, Aunt Julie. Adela, hello. Elaine, hello. Have you guys ever heard of a fat fast? Do you know what it is? So before I talk about today's video, I just want to let you know that I'm going to attach a free guide for you. It's a low carb guide, and all you have to do is just click on it. It'll take you over to a page where you can download it. It's a 10-page, very easy, low-carb guide that I created for you. Actually, it's an older guide. I created it a while ago, but I thought I would just reshare it. Give it a read. See if it brings back, it gives you some new ideas and some different things that you can try out in the low-carb world. Selena, Charity. Hi, Charity. It was nice talking to you earlier. Hey, Kelly. So I'm going to attach that download for you and later on in the comments. So guys, I have a private support group, right? We have about 550 members that hang out there. And this week I did a poll on the on my private group. And I asked people, the question was, what are your biggest health struggles what are your biggest struggles when it comes to health and post-surgery weight loss? Yes, that was the question. I had a lot of responses from this question that I posted. Angelica, hi. The responses went anywhere from plateaus and stalls to body dysmorphia and eating difficulty. So body dysmorphia, right? That is when the 300-pound me looks in the mirror and sees, and sorry, the 150-pound me looks in the mirror and sees 300 pounds, right? Or the you who's just lost 110 pounds sees yourself as you used to be and not like you are today, right? So, but there was one underlying theme, right? And that theme that was underlying was that people were experiencing hunger after weight loss surgery. Hey, Amber. So I'm not going to dig into that topic really deep today, but I'm going to touch on it today. But next week, I'm going to do a blog and a Facebook Live just for those people who struggle with hunger after weight loss surgery. So people started logging on. Hello, everybody. And so I'm going to get started with today's topic. It's going to follow along the same theme as last week, right? Last week's theme was celery juice and self-care. And I had a lot of questions about my celery juice experiment. Did anybody out there give it a try? There's no magic bullet, right? It's just all these little actions that add up, like juicing and exercising and low carb eating, and all those things add up. Patricia, Cynthia, like making sleep a priority, for example. So, you know, bottom line, I'm going to continue to juice a few times a week, maybe Monday to Thursday, right? 1 glass on an empty stomach. I'm only going to juice green stuff, so it's maybe spinach, it might be celery. It's just one of those things that I want to do for a little bit of self-care, my personal self-care, right? Okay, so on to another trend. This is an exciting trend, right? I'm going through right now the trends of 2019, breaking them down for you. And hi, Sarah. Okay, so the question is, will I be trying this personally? And the answer is yes, of course I will. And I've done this in the past, and it truly helped me. And I did it again this week. Stacy's. And I'm here. I want to share my experience with you. I want to share my results with you. And the trend I'm talking about, once again, is called a fat fast. Am I telling you or encouraging you to do a fat fast? No. I'm just telling you what it is, and I'm sharing some of my ideas about how it works for me, how it can work for you. I'm basically logging my own personal food experiences, right? I mean, it may make perfect sense to you, and you may think that that's something you have zero interest in, and that's okay. Yay for biochemical individuality, right? I do me and you do you, right? Okay, so I was thinking earlier, isn't it really funny that as soon as you decide to eat in a certain way, just for a few days, right? People like go kind of insane, right? They tell you how unhealthy it is and how you're risking your health. I mean, it's fine for us to eat the standard American diet, which tells us to fill up on rice and corn and beans and grains, right? I mean, it's fine to eat crap on the weekend, right? Fill up on Oreo cookies and Dorito chips and ice cream, right? But the second I start discussing something like drinking celery juice or eating salmon, eggs, and spinach for a few days, like people get in an uproar, huh? It's funny, but it's kind of irritating. But anyways, has that happened to you guys before? You tell people that, oh, I'm going to go on a keto diet, and they go, oh no, that's like so bad for you. What's bad about it? Is it better to eat rice and beans? And anyways, I shouldn't rant too much, right? Anyways, so the fat fast. Let's get back on topic, right? So this is a compromise. Oh, good, Sarah. You see what I mean, right? Okay, this is like a compromise, right? There's a compromise between it's a compromise when it comes to typical fasting, right? It's as close you get to fasting without doing an actual real fast, right? It's a technique that I like to use to get a quick loss on the scale. It gets you into ketosis quickly. It helps with hunger. It helps with cravings. And like basically a fat fast can be used in two situations. Okay, Sarah says, anytime I fast, people get crazy. Yeah, I know, right? You're going to die because you don't eat for a day. Like, that's just giving your body a break, giving your digestive system a break, drinking lots of water, herbal teas, chamomile tea. Yeah, I mean, bone broth. I mean, these things are, hey, Vanessa. Yeah. Okay, so fasting is kind of making its way into the general mainline right now. It's going to take some time, though. Hey, Melinda. We're talking about fat fasting today. So, like I was saying, there's like a couple of situations where the fat fast works great, and that is for breaking, a plateau, and or like a weight loss stall. And also, a fat fast is for inducing into ketosis more comfortably or more quickly, right? Hey, Disha. For me personally, it's to ditch the carbs and to get back to not feeling hungry all the time, not feel like I'm trained to the refrigerator because I'm always hungry. And this is why I said that I was going to touch on this topic today about hunger after weight loss surgery. I'm going to dedicate the time to do a blog next week about it and to do a video about it next week. It's super important, right? But doing a fat fast really helps me not to feel hungry all the time. It really makes sense. It's so simple, right? So you know how when people fast, Sarah, when you fast, you just drink water, black tea, or herbal tea, bone broth, and like coffee, black coffee, right? Well, during a fat fast, they're going to eat only foods, or we're going to eat foods that are high in healthy fat. So not bacon, healthy fat, right? So I mean, you could eat bacon, right, on a fat fast because it's actually fat. But what you're trying to do is keep the proteins not so high as well, right? Hey, Darlene, Christy. So the fat fast originates from doctors who want their patients to fast, but the patients fail because fasting is really rough and tough, right? The fat fast is a compromise over a true fast. It's like a step to help people get off the carbs and get ready for a real fast, right? Or intermittent fasting, right? If this is something that a lot of people want to try, hey Jody, a lot of people want to try intermittent fasting, and they they say, okay, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to have my tea or my black coffee, a cup of bone broth. I start my day. It's 7, it's 8, it's 9. They're trying to go to noon. By 10 o'clock, they're really, really hungry, right? So doing a fat fast is something that you can try to get those carbs out of your system, so it makes it easier to do a really good intermittent fast so you're not feeling so hungry all the time. Julianne. So when people try to make an honest attempt to intermittent fast or to fast, they get really derailed, right? Because they're seriously craving the foods which they're trying to eliminate from their diet. And those foods, what are they? They're carbs, right? They're carbs. Sarah Sanders, this is interesting. I struggle with fasting because of the dizziness and fogginess. Okay, enter the fat fast. Watch this. So you're able to go longer between meals, and you're able to get past those first few hours doing the intermittent fasting much easier, right? Because your stomach is not rumbling and you're not feeling desperate to eat, right? Sarah, you're not feeling dizzy and bad and terrible, right? So there are situations where people are having a serious health crisis, right? And all they want to do is a traditional fast for just a specific amount of time, right? To allow the body time to be able to heal, right? So it's how can they move past those glucose and sugar and that carb roller coaster, and they're trying to feel better by introducing a shorter fast and then a longer fast. It's just a really powerful tool. Joan, hello. Okay, so this type of fast enables us to decrease insulin levels and at the same time regain a really strong and a really good insulin signaling. That's the word I was looking for. And it happens really fast, right? So here we go. Enter the fat fast. You guys ready for this? Here comes the information. Do me a favor, get yourself a pen and a piece of paper, because you're going to want to write down the actual foods that are on my fat. This is my fat fast, okay? There's different variations on it. Okay, so you can compare a fat fast to an extreme version of a ketogenic diet. Now, a ketogenic diet really isn't that extreme, right? It just really is eating real food for real results, right? It's just getting rid of the garbage out of your diet. That's all it is. So an extreme version of a ketogenic diet would be saying, we're gonna lower the protein a little bit and we're gonna lower the carbohydrates a little bit more, so 5% carbohydrates. So you're keeping the carbs as low as you possibly can while you're ramping up your fat intake and keeping protein at a minimum. That's the fat fast overall, okay? You compare it, this is really important, guys. You compare your fat fast to a regular fast whereby there's a start and there's a finish. It's just a tool. It's just a temporary state. It's just a strategy that we're going to use. Hi, Nicole. Trinity, eh? So a fat fast, it's only something we're going to do short term, right? So introduce it, for example, for 3 days or maximum or 5 days, maybe a little bit longer if you want. Then you can break it, go back to a more gentler way of eating, maybe add a little bit more carbs into your diet, and then do it again 2 weeks later or a couple of weeks later. So, fat fasting. Okay, so you want to be sure that you're eating healthy fats during this time. Healthy fats. So healthy fats means, like I'm talking about bacon, that's not considered a healthy fat, right? This is a strategy to help you get to a better place where you're not craving so many carbs, or preparation for your true fast. Getting ready. So I want you guys to, I wanted to talk quickly about the original fat fast. Okay, Dr. Atkins in 1972 released his first book, right? And this is where people were encouraged to start into the Atkins way of eating. The induction was 4 to 5 little meals. I think the calorie intake was like 1,200 calories. But those little meals were very, very, very high in fat throughout the day. The newer, more modified version, hey Tammy Lee, of the fat fast, we're not limiting our calories. I don't want you to think calorie limitation, right? I want you to think carbohydrate limitations. So in the Atkins induction, the people were limiting their calories, and they were eating only the recommended foods also, right? But they were seeing great results. So they're feeling better, they're having an easier time, they're getting rid of the carbs in their diet. And we have to also remember that eating carbs are going to raise your insulin levels, right? Insulin levels, glucose levels. Eating only fat is going to allow you to keep your insulin levels very low. Now, remember the graph I did, I think a week, 2 weeks ago, I showed you a graph, and on the graph, when you eat carbs, you saw what happened to blood glucose, insulin levels went up like this on this curvature, right? And then the next graph we looked at was protein. What happened when we ate protein? And protein did a little bit more like this curve, right? It went like this a little bit more, okay? And then you saw fat when you ate things like almonds and macadamia nuts and salmon. When you ate really fatty foods, it went more like this. It went more like this. The line was really low. And this basically is the response that you have, your insulin, your glucose response, your insulin response, right? Low insulin levels, you know what that means? It means that you are not going to be hungry. You're going to feel less hungry throughout the day, right? Hey, Tina, glad you are here. So how do we get the fat fast right? First of all, don't limit your calories. Got it? Okay, hey. So if you're going to limit your calories, it's a surefire way to fail, because calorie restriction and carb restriction at the same time, God, it's going to be really hard, right? I want you to eat until you feel satisfied. I want you to fill your beautiful bariatric pouch, right? Fill it until you feel full. Your appetite's going to decrease quickly, right? And you're going to be able to eat less food and feel less hungry, right? We want to control our hunger. This is why this thing is so great. We don't want to be eating all day long. This is a good strategy to help you get there. Don't eat when you're hungry. Listen to your body. Doing a short fast is not something dangerous. This is a short fat fast, Krista. You'll get everything that you need in those few days that you're doing the fat fast, because the foods you're going to eat are going to be super nutrient dense, right? You don't have to worry about lacking protein, because the fat fast contains foods that are naturally high in protein, and in protein. Hey, Deborah, you sweetheart. So what the heck can you eat on a fat fast? You're like, come on, Sheri, tell me, let me know, what am I supposed to eat? Okay, so get your pen and paper here. Let's write it down. Here we go. Eggs. I want you to eat eggs. I want you to eat fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, herring, and I'm missing one, and sardines. If you're not into fish, we can talk later and we can swap that one thing out, okay? But I really want, if you like salmon, I want you to eat salmon. Avocados. It's an awesome food. I am not a huge avocado fan, but when I do a fat fast, I am like, cut that avocado in half, put some little bit of lemon on it, put some salt on it, and eat that avocado. Olives. Wonderful. If you like olives, awesome. It's a great snack. Green leafy vegetables. So your arugula, your spinach, lettuce is fine. It's not as nutrient dense, right? Like all of those greens, the greener the better, right? I personally, this is my fat fast. I use zucchini, and you guys know how much I love a stalk of celery. I use celery on my fat fast. You can use herbs and spices, so you can spice things up, and you can, add all of your favorite herbs. Okay, for actual fats, you're going to use butter, olive oil, coconut oil. If you're into MCT oil, you can use your MCT oil, coconut oil. Hi, Melinda. Okay, now for the yummy stuff. Heavy cream and cream cheese. I use those in my personal fat fast. I'll use cream cheese. Not everybody adds it, but I do. Mayo. Okay, on my personal fat fast, I use mayo, but I use mayo that is made in a healthier version. For example, with an avocado oil, right? I try to stay away from the refined oils like canola oil. So if you look on your mayonnaise, and the first thing you're going to see is canola oil, see if you can find a healthier version of mayonnaise if you want to use mayonnaise on your fat fast. One more thing I use is high fat nuts. I'll use macadamia nuts and pecans. Those are the two nuts that I use. The list of foods is really short. So if you didn't get it and you didn't catch it as I was talking about it, you can reach out to me and I'll give you the list online. My personal list is really short. It makes my life easier. I don't do substitutions when I do my fat fast. I don't switch salmon for chicken, for example, or I don't switch lettuce for corn. If you don't like the foods on my fat fast, maybe you can make up your own fat fast, create your own version of this. For example, if this was called the onion soup fast, I wouldn't do it because I hate onions, so I would definitely not do it. I might say, maybe I'll do a cabbage soup, but I would not do an onion soup. Fish, yes, Deborah, fish. Do you like fish? Yes, fish is the first thing on my list. The first thing on my list was fatty fish. Oh, regular fish. Ah, okay. So you could, there we go with the sauce. So you could do a regular fish, but then you need to be sure to cook it in a lot of oil, right? Or top it with butter, because regular fish just doesn't have enough fat in it. Now what we're trying to do is we're trying to keep those insulin levels super low. So fish is high in protein. Remember the graph. The carbs do this, the protein does this, the fats do this. So we're trying to keep ourselves right here at the very bottom. So if we're eating an avocado, an egg, some salmon or fatty fish, and a thing of butter, you're going to feel really even steel, right? Now, if you add the regular fish, it's high in protein, so you jump up a little bit, right? But we're trying to drop insulin levels. Oh, thanks for all the love, guys. Thank you for all those thumbs up. Hey, Kim and Sonia and Jared. So these are some samples of my personal fat fast. Now, some of the things that I was eating when I'm on my personal fat fast. So, scrambled, baked, fried, poached eggs. Cook them in butter. If you do your poached eggs, make sure you put some hollandaise sauce on there, right? So I want you to scramble your eggs, but I want you to scramble them in butter, right? So that would be like my personal breakfast with a little piece of avocado. So yeah, the eggs have the protein in it, but I find that the more fat that I add to my food, the better I feel. For example, yesterday I had to head to the passport office and I hadn't had breakfast, right? So I do my intermittent fasting in the morning, and at noon I was going to break my fast, but I couldn't. I didn't have time. So instead of just grabbing something, I grabbed a handful of macadamia nuts and of pecans, and I took a half an avocado and I ate that. You know what? Hunger gone. It works wonders, right? It's just a really great way to keep your appetite in check. Melinda, hello. Okay, spinach with salmon. That would be the perfect, oh, thanks for all the love again. That would be the perfect way, perfect meal, right? For lunch or for dinner would be spinach with salmon, right? On your spinach, you can saute that in a little bit of coconut oil or a little bit of avocado oil. One of the other meals I had during the week was, how do you guys feel about this meal plan? Do you feel like it's totally out there and crazy, or it makes total sense, right? What do you think? Green salad with olives, topped with olive oil and lots of salt. That would be something that I would eat on my fat fast. For drinks, this is it. Black coffee, tea. If you want bone broth, you can do bone broth and water. That's it. Don't drink the stevia stuff. Don't drink the sweetened beverages. Stay away from those during your fat fast, okay? One of the meals that I made was zucchini noodles. So that's why I put zucchini in my personal fat fast. So I did zoodles, and I made a high-fat sauce with, get this, heavy cream and cream cheese. Put that on the zoodles. Yum. Kind of like a fettuccine alfredo, but not really, right? Celery, top celery with cream cheese. I really suggest that you make a one-day plan and you follow that plan for 3 days, 4 days, or 5 days. I mean, you don't have to be necessarily changing it up every single day, right? It makes it more difficult. So easy. There you have your own personalized 3-day fat fast, for example. One day, you go do your groceries, you buy your salmon, your zucchini, your spinach, make sure you have some eggs, some cream cheese, some heavy cream, and go for it. Right, again, I'm going to write this down for you. And if you guys request the information, I'll send it to you as well. So I look forward to hearing your thoughts and your opinions about this fat fasting. And if you want to join me on a fat fast, let's do it. Well, I'll set up a challenge. We have a private group, right? So I'll set up a challenge on the private group, see who wants to join in the fat fast. If you guys want, are you interested, we can do this next week. You know, and you could come, I'll post something. Kim, you're in? Right on. If you wanted to give it a try, we could go next week. We could do 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, results on Thursday. I'll post something this weekend. We'll get started. And if you want to join the private group, let me know. And you know what else, guys? I want to start my draw for all my vitamin giveaways and all the giveaways, right? But I couldn't find a way of how to make sure that the people in the draw are watching the video, right? Or are a part of our group, right? And then I thought to myself, you know what, the support group, there's 550 members there, So maybe I can use those 550 names. Anybody else that joins, I'll automatically put your name in the draw, and that way you have a lot more chances of winning, and I know that you're part of our group. What do you guys think? So the video's almost over, right? So in closing, Stacy, is it too early for me to start this fast? No, we're going to start it on, how far along post-op are you? A month, 2 months, right, Stacy? I'll check and see how far out you are, and then we'll give it a try. So when I feel out of control, and it means that my life is unbalanced in some other area, right? And I like to try different kinds of health hacks, right? Because it kind of allows me to grab a hold of the reins in my other parts of my life that are out of control. So if I control my eating, get control of that, drop my glucose, make sure I'm not having so much sugar in my diet and everything, makes me feel more in control, right? And it's a way for me to scan other areas of my life and try to correct them, right? I don't like staying stuck, and I'm absolutely sure that you feel the exact same way. Stacy, 13 weeks. Yeah, you can give it a try. Yeah, if you feel like you want to reach for the cookies and you're feeling a little bit out of control and you have a lot of hunger, then you can try a fat fast with me. Sure, let's do it. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you have an amazing weekend. Get out there and enjoy one of the last summer weekends. And I send you guys all a hug. And I'm not telling you to do a fat fast. I was just sharing the information out there. You might be interested. I'm going to set up a challenge this week coming up. And I'll see you guys next Friday, Facebook Live. Bye for now. Bye.